All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about what is, without a doubt, one of the most famous military decorations in the world, the Victoria Cross. For the British and Commonwealth Armed Forces, this is it. It's the highest, most prestigious award for valor there is. And really, its entire purpose is summed up in just two simple words inscribed on every single medal: for valor. You know, this phrase was actually chosen by Queen Victoria herself. The original idea was for the brave, but she thought that might suggest that the guys not getting the medal weren't brave. For valor, though, that just perfectly captures the selfless, profound meaning of the award. And if you want to understand just how profound it is, take a look at this number. Since it was created way back in 1856, the Victoria Cross has only been awarded 1,358 times. That's it. That incredible rarity tells you everything you need to know about the kind of circumstances you have to be in to earn one. So what's the key requirement? Well, it's right there in the official definition. The act has to be performed in the presence of the enemy. This is an award for pure courage under fire, and it doesn't matter who you are, any rank, any service, even civilians working under military command are eligible. So, where did this all come from? Let's go back to its origin story. Turns out it took a major war to highlight a pretty big gap in how Britain was recognizing its heroes. See, before the Victoria Cross came along, most of the awards for gallantry were basically reserved for high-ranking officers. A regular soldier or sailor could do something incredibly heroic, but there was no official system in place to recognize it. Their bravery often just went unrewarded. And then came the Crimean War. This was one of the first wars where you had real war reporters on the ground, and their stories about the bravery of ordinary soldiers got back to the public. People started demanding a new way to honor these men. So Queen Victoria stepped in, and in 1856, the Victoria Cross was officially born. A year later, she personally handed out the first 62 medals, which pretty much cemented its legendary status right from the start. And the Queen was really involved in the details. She was adamant that this award should be simple, not some stuffy military order. She wanted it to be about one thing and one thing only: an individual's courage, not their social class or rank. Calling it the Victoria Cross made it feel personal, democratic. Now, that democratic spirit is one thing, but the story behind the medal it's made from, that's a whole other level. It's a legend that's become almost as famous as the medal itself. And here is that legend. The story that's been passed down is that every single VC is forged from the bronze of Russian cannons that were captured during the Crimean War, the very conflict that sparked the medal's creation. What a powerful symbol, right? To take an enemy's weapon and transform it into the highest possible honor for valor. It's a fantastic story. I mean, a perfect piece of military folklore. But like a lot of great legends, modern science decided to take a much closer look. And here's the crazy truth. While the very first medals were almost certainly made from those Russian cannons, it turns out that's not the whole story. Metallurgical analysis has shown that nearly all the VCs made since late 1914 actually come from old Chinese cannons, probably taken as trophies in an even earlier war. So it seems the legend is a bit more powerful than the literal truth. But regardless of where it came from, the chunk of metal that's left is incredibly precious. There's only about 10 kilograms of it left. It's kept in a vault, under armed guard, and they figure there's only enough bronze left to make maybe 80 or 85 more medals. Just another layer to its incredible rarity. Okay, so we've talked about the medal, the myth, the medal. But what does it actually take to earn one? What are these immortal acts of bravery all about? The official wording really says it all. This isn't just for being brave. It's for most conspicuous bravery, a preeminent act of valor or self-sacrifice. We are talking about the absolute pinnacle of heroism, performed under the most intense, unbelievable pressure you can imagine. And the process to award one is just as tough as the act itself. It starts right there on the battlefield. It has to be witnessed. Then it goes all the way up the chain of command, and at the very end, it requires the personal signature of the monarch. Every single one is scrutinized like you wouldn't believe. This chart really puts it into perspective. Just look at that number for the First World War. 628. It's staggering. It shows you the sheer scale and unimaginable intensity of that conflict. That's almost half of all the Victoria Crosses ever awarded, right there. And then you have this number, 3. In the entire history of the Victoria Cross, over 160 years, only 3 men have ever earned it twice. It's called the VC and Bar. 2 of them were doctors who just kept running into heavy fire to rescue wounded soldiers, and 1 was an infantryman. I mean, to reach that level of extreme valor not once but twice, it's just almost impossible to comprehend. So what about today? What's the legacy of this simple bronze cross? Well, it's grown beyond just a British award and has become this powerful symbol all around the world. The legacy is so powerful that countries like Australia, Canada, and New Zealand have all created their own versions. They're their own distinct national awards, but they share that incredible name and prestige. And get this, the Australian and New Zealand medals are still cast from that exact same block of historic cannon bronze. And the value that people place on these medals is just immense. When one comes up for auction, it can sell for over £400,000, and some have gone for way, way more. Of course, that has nothing to do with the value of the medal. It's about the value of the story, the supreme courage that each one of these little crosses represents. Which kind of brings us to a final thought. The Victoria Cross was created back in the days of cavalry charges and bayonets. But now, in an age of cyber attacks, drone strikes, and all sorts of new conflicts, what does it even mean to be in the presence of the enemy? Courage itself is timeless, for sure, but how we recognize and define valor, well, that's a question that keeps on evolving.